My name is Andrew Estes and I am a Principal Training Architect at Pluralsight. In this video, we're going to work together in order to build our very own personalized application using this service. Let's go ahead and get started.
Okay, hello there. Let's go ahead and jump into this demonstration on using AWS PartyRock in order to build our very own applications based on generative AI services within AWS. The really neat thing about this service is that it allows you to easily leverage Amazon Bedrock, which is their generative AI offering within the AWS cloud. Now, one thing I want to call out here is when you're first accessing this service, you have to sign in using either a Google account, an Apple ID, or an Amazon.com account. You can see the options here. Once you do this, they will create an account for you, and then you can leverage this limited time free trial to follow along and build your own applications. Now, I'm already signed in to my own personal account here, so let's go ahead and get started. When you sign in, you're going to land on this PartyRock.aws home screen. From here, you can take a tour, but we're not here for that. Let's go ahead and build an application. I'm going to click on Build Your Own App. And for this application, I'm going to go ahead and create one that I would use myself. One of my primary hobbies is working out in the gym, and then with that comes clean eating as well. So for this application, what I'm going to do is leverage this service to create a new fitness-based app that creates a custom workout plan for me, and then we'll build on that and have it generate a daily meal plan as well. So when I get to the app builder screen here, you can see we're prompted to describe what we want the app to do. So I can use this as a shortcut to get started with my application, or I can click on Start from an empty app. Now for this, I'm going to use this shortcut to show you how it works. So what I'll do here is I'll select, I'll paste, and you'll notice I'm saying, hey, provide a full body weight workout for the amount of time, which will be in minutes, that we input as a user. I'll click on Generate, and there we go. We get an application pre-filled for us using that description that we pasted earlier. Let's see what we have by default using that shortcut. We have an input section for workout duration, and then we have 3 widgets that use the AI service in the background to generate based on the workout duration that we enter. So from here, if I enter 15 for 15 minutes, we're going to see that the warm-up will populate. We'll see the workout populate after this, and then it will go ahead and give us a cooldown. Now, I'll say this, while this is actually populating, I don't like how this looks. I would rather have just one widget that gives us everything because it's a little easier to look at. I don't want to have to look at 3 different widgets for my workout. So what I'll do is I'll let this finish. I'm going to go up to the top and click on Edit. And this brings us to a nice little UI where we can drag around things, resize things, etc. So what I'll do is I'm going to click on this, delete my widget, confirm it, and I'll delete the cooldown one as well. Now from there, I'm going to go ahead and resize this and drag it up to the top right. And let's go ahead and make it a little bit longer since we're going to have the entire workout within one. I can also shorten this other widget box because, well, I'm only entering digits. I'm not entering anything lengthy. Now, if I go to this edit button again here on the top right of the widget, you'll notice we can make some edits. We have our widget title, which is how you reference the widgets in other widgets. And then we can choose the model that we want. So notice the current supported models right now. Now, I tend to use the defaults. However, you can choose your own based on your own interests and your own requirements. I've played around with most of them. Claude tends to be the best for what I'm using this for. So I'm going to leave the default, and then we get a prompt. So this is what we're prompting Amazon Bedrock on the back end to do for us. So we're saying, hey, suggest a good full body calisthenic workout for the workout duration, which is our input here on the left, excluding our 5-minute warm-up. So notice how this is highlighted. And it points out that, hey, we're referencing this widget for this prompt. Now, another thing we can do is go under Advanced Settings. And here is where we can play with a few different things. We can play with the temperature, which is going to be from 0 to 1. And the temperature is essentially going to regulate how creative your model's responses are. The lower the temperature, the more deterministic responses you get. The higher the temperature, you're going to get more creative and different responses for the same prompt. So essentially, how strict do you want it to be? So I'm just going to say 0.5, just for fun. And then we have top P as well. So this is a little in-depth, but this essentially is going to control your token choices based on probability of the potential choices. The lower that this is, the more probable your options are. What that means is that your results are more stable and easily repetitive. Now again, we're not going to dive too much into this, that's very advanced, but for this I'll set my temperature to 0.5 and my top P at 0, click on save, and then let's go ahead and stop editing and enter a different time. Sweet, so now we have everything in one widget. We have our warm-up, our workout, and then sometimes you might get a cooldown. For this, it's just telling you to stretch, etc., but this is really cool. So now we've got part 1, but I need part 2. I want to add a meal plan section. So I'm going to go back to edit. I'm going to add a new widget here. And you'll notice the different options: text generation, image generation, chatbot, and these all three use AI in the background. Otherwise, we can have user input or static text. And for this, I'm going to use user input. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. Let's go ahead and jam it underneath workout duration. And I'm going to give my widget a title, which we'll call weight. We'll give it a placeholder, which I will go ahead and say, enter your goal weight. And then we'll leave the default value blank. I'm going to click on save, resize it again. And there we go. So now we have our new static input widget here titled weight. And I need to add one more widget. So in this time, we're going to do text generation, and we're going to call this meals. We'll use the same model, and let's go ahead and redo this prompt. So remember, we can leverage that weight widget in this prompt in order to generate our output using Bedrock. So let me go ahead and enter a simple prompt to generate a high protein meal plan for us. Okay, so I've got most of my prompt in place, and I just want to show you how you can reference other widgets. It's literally as simple as putting @ and then selecting the widget you're trying to reference for the prompt. So I'm generating a high protein meal plan based on the number of calories required to maintain the weight entered in our weight widget. I'm going to turn up the temperature a little bit with this as well. Click on save, and let's go ahead and resize this. I'm going to stop editing, and let's try it out. We'll enter 45 minutes, and I'll enter 190. Now you'll notice these are operating at the same time, which is awesome because they're not dependent on one another. Workout leverages our workout duration widget, gives us a full workout for at home, and then our meals over here on the left are based on a high protein meal plan to go ahead and stay at the entered weight. And there you go. That's how easy it is to create your own app using AI services on the back end. We created different widgets. We referenced those widgets within our learning models. And now we can go ahead and if you want to, you can make it public. So I'm going to click on make public and save. You get a link here, and that's it. So now anyone with this link up here at the top can actually navigate to this application and use it within their own browser. It's really, really cool. Now that's going to do it for our demonstration on using PartyRock. I hope you've learned quite a bit to at least get started building your own custom applications using generative AI.